readers, it's Sasha, and today I am going to be doing a book unhaul for the end of the year so I can make room for my 2022 reads. So I have broken this down into two categories. One is the category where I'm like just giving these books to people, particularly my mom. She's really into certain fantasy series and I want her to be able to read them, but I don't want them on my shelf, so I'm gonna gift those to her. And then I have a box of books that I just like, I don't think anybody should have to read, but I will be donating them to most likely a used bookstore. So without further ado, let's just dive in because I feel like there are a lot of books here and I think this is gonna take a while. We'll start with the fact that I am getting rid of my Harry Potter series. It's just like the aesthetically pleasing, like all of the nice like bound editions. They're very nice, but I'm giving them to my friend. I have no interest in Harry Potter. I've not read it as a kid and I have no interest in picking it up as an adult, but my friend really loves it and I think this is a really beautiful edition. She's always wanted them, so I'm giving those to her. I'm also giving her my Throne of Glass series, so this is not actually something I'm giving. She bought it from me. So I'm gonna start with the books I'm giving to my mom. So we're gonna start off with a series that I really didn't love, and I do think though that my mom is gonna like it because she really likes this type of series. So I'm getting rid of the Last Magician series. I liked the first one, but as you saw in my last video, I did not like The Devil's Thief or this ginormous book. Why is it like glowing? Yeah, that was weird. Okay. I'm not gonna read these. I don't have any interest in reading these again. I think my mom would really love them because they're big, they're chunky, they're fantasy series, and she loves that kind of thing. So I think she would love these. So I'm gonna give those to her. I think this would work well for her and what she likes to read. So yes, that is the first. Where am I gonna put these? I don't know. Next, I'm gifting her my Vampire Academy series, but I think I'm gonna ask for them back at some point, maybe. I don't know. As you know from my last video, I DNF'd the third book. However, I have interest in picking it up again. As of recently, I just kind of realized I might actually like it if I gave it a proper shot. So I do think my mom would love these books, like genuinely love them. So I'm gonna give them to her and I might ask for them back a little later on. But yeah, 6 books, vampires, like that's like right up her alley. So I'm excited to see her reaction to these. Next, I'm planning on giving her the first 3 books in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I did not love this book series. I read the first one in 2020. I read the second one. I DNF'd it in 2020 as well, I think. Either 2020. No, I think I DNF'd it in 2021. But yeah, it doesn't appeal to me anymore. I really thought I was gonna love it, and I know there's like a first trilogy and then it continues on and there's like a second trilogy as far as I know, but I only had the first trilogy. I think my mom would really like these because it's kind of right up her alley. She saw the movie, really liked it. So I'm gonna give her the chance to pick it up and see if it's something she likes, but I have no interest in reading these ever again or picking them up ever again. It's just not my thing. So yes, gonna give those to her. Next, I'm going to be giving her a duology, a sci-fi duology, dystopian sci-fi. It is Nexus and Redux by A.L. Davro. Again, if you saw my worst and most disappointing books video, this was one of them. This is in my 2.5 2-star reads, and I just didn't really love the second book. I do think it's something my mom would really like, but I just didn't vibe with it as much. I really loved the first book a lot, and I really think my mom's gonna love it, but I also think she'll really like the second book, so I'm gonna give her both of them and get them off my shelf because I have no interest in reading Nexus ever again. So next, I'm giving my mom some spy books. So the first one is You Don't Know My Name by Kristen Orlando, and this is just a spy book series about a girl whose parents are like super spies, and I think she's training. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I read books 1 and 2 in this series and I never got to the third one. I don't really have any intention on getting to the third one. I think there's something my mom would really like, but I have no intention on it, so I want to give her the chance to read these as well, so I'm gonna give those to her. Next, I'm getting rid of my Of Fire and Stars duology. Again, giving this to my mom. I don't know how she's gonna react to this book series, particularly because it is a sapphic series and she's definitely progressed a lot in her opinions and her beliefs. However, I don't know if we're quite there yet, but I'm gonna give her the chance because it does sound like something she'd be interested in. It's fantasy, it's princess kingdom-y, so I think she'd love these. I have no interest in reading them again. I loved the first book, did not like the second book, and yeah, just have no interest in picking any of this up again. So next, I wanted to get rid of this duology. Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendara Blake. So it's Anna Dressed in Blood and Girl of Nightmares. These two books, I read the first one, DNF the second one, I think back in 2020. No interest in picking it up again. It's just not really my thing. I do like horror and I do like ghost stories, but this one just didn't vibe well with me, and I think it's mostly because I read this one quite far after I read the first one. In my mind, it was not far at all, but like there was just a big disconnect there. Hello. Welcome. There's just a big disconnect there. I could not really get on board with it, so no interest really in picking these up again. I do think my mom will like them, but I have no interest. The next series I'm getting rid of is the Burning Glass trilogy by Catherine Purdy. If you know my channel, if you've been here a while, Catherine Purdy was one of my favorite authors of 2020. I absolutely loved Bonecryer's Moon. So when I picked this in Goodreads Chooses My TBR, I was so excited because obviously one of my favorite authors, this is a series she wrote, and it was okay. Like, it was a good-ish series, but it didn't really do anything for me. It's not something I'm ever going to reread. I do think it's good. It's a kingdom type story again, but it just didn't do much for me. I was quite disappointed with these. So I am going to pass them along to my mom because again, this is more up her alley than mine. So I think she'll really like these. Two more series I'm giving my mom. So let's go through those. So this series that I'm giving her is the Kiss of Deception series. So I read this back in 2021 as well. First book, meh, didn't really do much for me. Second book was better. The third book was incredible. Almost one of my favorites of 2021. I really think my mom's gonna like this series. There's a love triangle. We don't know who the killer is. It's very cool. It's very interesting. It's a very cool fantasy suspense, I would say, type story. At least the first one. The second two aren't really as suspensey, but I think my mom would really like these. I'm never gonna read them again, so it might as well go to somebody who will. And finally, the last series I'm giving my mom is the Testing trilogy by Joelle Charbonneau. This is a trilogy I picked up at my local thrift store. It's dystopian. Thought I was really gonna love it, but if you saw my last video, third book did not really do much for me, so I plan on giving this to her. I think she'd really like these because dystopia is something that kind of got her into reading YA as a whole. What? Hello. Oh, okay. So yeah, I do think she's really gonna like these, but I have no interest in picking them up ever again, so I'm gonna give them away. So that's it for the books I'm giving to my mom and like my friend. But let's dive into the books that I just don't think anybody should read. I'm also getting rid of my Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. It's not because I'm not complete trash for them, because I am still. That has not changed, but I have bought the new editions of them, the newer ones, because the covers I have right now are the ones that they were originally published in, so like these ones, and I hate them. Like, I think they're disgusting. There are nipples on the cover. Ugh, nope. But the newer covers, they're just more aesthetically pleasing. So I'm getting rid of my full series. I found a really good deal on the Mortal Instruments for the full box set, and can't wait. So I'm getting rid of those, but I'm not taking them off my shelf until the other ones get here because this is a very integral part of my bookshelf. Now, the books that I regret buying, that I just really didn't like, XYZ. So the first book I want to talk about is The Sight by Judy Blundell. I got this book in a book trade I did I think in the past year, like early in the year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to see about it. It's really not my thing. Like, it's really not. So I'm going to pass this along to somebody, hopefully, that will actually enjoy this. But it's really not my thing. So I'm not going to bother trying to keep it. Next, I have this horribly beat up copy of Gone by Michael Grant. I have read this book series like 3 or 4 times now, honestly. And you can tell she's been through the ringer. But I actually ended up finding a book that matched the rest of my series because this was the only one that was different. And I decided to bite the bullet and get rid of this one and just purchase that used copy. And it definitely is more aesthetically pleasing than this. So I'm getting rid of her. Next, I'm gonna get rid of a controversial book. Well, it's not controversial, it's just like everybody loved it, and I'm over here like really ready to get it out of my life. But that is Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. I had no connections to this story. I liked it enough. It was good. I think I gave it 4 stars. I have no interest in reading it again. This isn't gonna be one of those books that I just kind of go back to and go back to. It's just not. I do think this could be really impactful for other people, and for me to just keep it on my shelf as like an aesthetics basis, it just doesn't make sense, just because this isn't my thing. But it definitely could be someone else's, but it's not mine. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Next, I'm also gonna get rid of, for the same reason.
Actually, I didn't like this book at all, so I guess it's not the same reason.
She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This is again a newer release. I have no interest in it because I don't like it. I'm not gonna pick it up again. I DNF'd this, hard DNF, back in August or September. I can't remember which month it was. Did not like it. Just wasn't for me. So I'm gonna pass this along because I do think other people are gonna love this book. Just not Just not me. Just not this kid right here. Next, Here We Are Now by Jasmine Warga. One of really good books out of 2021. Read it, really liked it. Overall, I'm not going to read it again. Have no attachments to the story or the characters. I don't think it's something my mom would really love because it's more contemporary and that's not so much her style. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. It's not really something I have any lasting connections with. It was good and I can't wait to pass it on to somebody else who can read it and appreciate it and love it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't anything special. Next, I'm getting rid of a very disappointing book, Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. This book will probably work wonders for some people. Obviously it has, but I am just so upset by this book. I hated it. Well, I didn't hate it, but like I expected so much more and I was so severely let down that I need to get this book out of my life. So I'm getting rid of this book. I have no interest in picking it up again, trying for the second book, blah, blah, blah. Literally no interest. This has gone in one ear, out the other. I'm done with it. Like it's not gonna do anything for me. Next, I'm getting rid of a book I bought fairly recently and I thought I was gonna really get into the series and love it. And I realize now that I don't have the time for a commitment of a 9-book series, and that is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I know this series is incredible. I've heard amazing things about it. That's why I bought it to begin with. I saw it in my used bookstore and I was like, yes, perfect. But realistically speaking, am I gonna want to get into a 9-book series? No, I'm really not going to. Unless it's one of like my auto-buy authors. I have no interest in this. And it's disappointing, but if I kept it and didn't read it, I'd definitely be letting myself down. So I'm definitely not going to keep it. I'm going to give it back to that store and go from there. Next, I'm getting rid of The Diviners and Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This isn't actually something I'm getting rid of, like hard getting rid of. I just got better covers for them. And these were like the older covers and I've got no interest in them. This is like an extremely heavy book. The cover is very like in your face and I'm just not a fan of these covers. So I got the better versions. I'm actually starting this book today. So yeah, I have nothing bad to say about them. I just don't like the covers, so I'm getting rid of them. I think it goes without saying that I'm definitely getting rid of Lies We Tell Ourselves by Robin Talley. The way that this discussed race and discussed racism by a white person was very, very white-centric. Like, it was definitely a book for white readers. I'm surprised at how many good reviews it has because this is such a problematic book, and I honestly don't think I'm gonna donate it back. I think I'm probably just gonna chuck her because I don't think this is going to give anybody anything, and I hated it, so I DNF'd it. Next, I have another book by Robin Talley, so it's What We Left Behind. This is about a gender fluid person, and apparently the depiction is horrific, and I don't even want to try because of the last book by her. Like, I don't even want to try to get into it. I'm just getting rid of it because if that depiction is horrific, then you know it's like really, really, really bad because people were like obsessed with Lies We Tell Ourselves, and that was horrible. So if people are actually calling this book out, then we're just gonna let it go because I have no interest in trying to do this, so no. Next, I'm just getting rid of this stupid little like Cyanide and Happiness book. I got this from a friend of mine for a birthday or Christmas one year, but he's not actually a friend anymore. He's kind of a bad person, I guess you could say. That's T. He's kind of a problematic dude, and I don't really have any connection to this book, so I'm not gonna keep it, especially because it was from somebody. No, like, bye. Get out my life. Next, I'm getting rid of Letting Go of Gravity by Meg Letter. I read this last year. It was good. It was nothing special, nothing to write home about. I don't have any interest in picking it up. I don't think my mom's gonna love it, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Next, I'm gonna get rid of Please Don't Tell by Laura Timms. I've been holding on to this for a while because this is the first book that I read to completion in 24 hours that I have memory of. Like, I just sat down in one sitting, read this book. It was so good at the time, and I've been holding on to it because I was like, okay, this book is incredible. It's everything I've ever wanted, but it's really not. Like, it's really not that incredible. It's not anything I've ever wanted. It's just a young adult mystery thriller, so no interest in picking this up again. It's not gonna work for me. So the next book I'm getting rid of is a book because I accidentally double bought it. It's The War Outside by Monica Hess. I didn't need to double buy this, but I did, so here we are, getting rid of it. That's all there is to that. There's no like big profound reason. I'm just dumb. Next, I'm also planning on getting rid of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I liked it. It was a really good book. I read it back in 2020 and I have no regrets about reading it, purchasing it. It did its job, but am I gonna read it again? No. I have no interest in picking it up again, so I'm gonna get rid of it and pass it along to somebody who's hopefully gonna appreciate it more. Next, I'm getting rid of this book because I picked it up and I thought it was the first book in a series, and it's actually book like 4 in like a 6-book series. Again, no interest in reading that many books, especially if it's by an author that I don't know anything about. So Losing the Field by Abby Glines, 2nd, 4th something book in a series. I'm fine without keeping it. Like, it is what it is, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Next, I'm gonna get rid of Dreamers Often Lie by Jacqueline West. I also talked about this in my other past video, so check that out if you want to know my thoughts. But I essentially thought this was like the weirdest book that's ever been written on face of the earth, and I will never read it because I didn't even finish it the first time, so I have no intention of picking this up again at all. No. Next, let's get rid of The Mister by E.L. James. Obviously, I had to get rid of this. It's nice and floppy, got a good flop factor, but it also has nothing else going for it, so I'm gonna give her away. Next, I'm gonna give Marked for Revenge by Amelie Shep away. I got this book in a book trade. No interest in it. I think it's book 2 in like a series. I don't know. No interest. Giving it away. Same with this book here. This is the Jansen equation. No interest in picking this up. Literally looks like the exact opposite of what I'd go for in a book. Like, this cover's horrifying. Like, it's horrendous. Next, I'm getting rid of Influence by Sarah Shepard and Lilia Buckingham. Again, didn't do much for the mystery thriller genre of young adult, so I'm getting rid of it. Someone else is gonna like it. Someone probably a little younger than myself, and that's all I can ask for. Next, I'm getting rid of this book here, Cracked Up to Be by Courtney Summers. I really hated this book. No interest in picking it up again. No. Next, I'm getting rid of The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Shocker, shocker. This is a very like bizarre and slightly fat-phobic story. It's just when you make all of the fat characters super whiny and very like self-pitying and self-wallowing, it doesn't work for me as an individual and as a plus-size person. I don't find this something that's very positive to the community, and overall it just didn't do anything for me, so I'm getting rid of it. Next, I'm getting rid of all of my JLA alien books. I think it starts with Obsidian. Yes, it starts with Obsidian. I'm getting rid of them. I have no interest in reading them. My mom's already read them. No need for me to read them. I just have no interest, no desire. Next, I'm getting rid of this Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. No clue what this is. This is just like a romance novel that my aunt or my cousin or my aunt, somebody gave it to me and was like, I think you'd really like this. And I was like literally 8. So I don't think I really liked it. And I don't actually think I even read it. I think I potentially tried to read it, but I was 8 or 9. I was like, this is bad. And she's not asked for it back, so I'm not going to give it to her. Probably because she's an anti-vaxxer now, and I have no, like, interest in that. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. I think it's time to let go of her. Next, I have these 2 books here, Monster and Villain. These are 2 books in the Gone series, again by Michael Grant. This is a continuation series that he did. I got the paperback version to fit the rest of my series aesthetics, so I don't need these anymore. Next, I'm getting rid of And Then There Were Four by Nancy Werlin. This is the book I read for my very first author alphabet, and I really liked it at the time. I thought it was kind of good. I think 3 or 4 stars, but I don't have any interest in picking it up. I think my mom potentially read it. See the dust? Like, I've been waiting to film this video for ever. Next, I'm getting rid of Let It Snow by John Green. I'm also getting rid of The Fault in Our Stars. I made that decision, but I can't find it, so I think it probably fell and went under my couch. But I'm also getting rid of that. I just have no interest in John Green books anymore. The only one I really want to read still is Turtles All the Way Down, just because I've heard better things about it than the other 2. But I don't know why I'm keeping hold of either of these books. They're just not doing anything for me, so I'm gonna get rid of those. Next, I'm getting rid of The Silent Wife by A.S.A. Harrison. This book was okay. It didn't do anything for me. Don't really remember it. That's all I'm gonna say. This book is horrific. Like, this is disgusting. This cover is giving me like really sketch vibes. I'm not a fan of it. No interest in picking this up again. I DNF'd it after they used the R slur, and yeah, not interested. Next, I'm getting rid of The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. Stephen King is not a fantasy writer in my opinion. I have no interest in picking this up, to be honest. I got it in like a book swap that I did. I feel bad getting rid of it because she thought I would really like this book, but I genuinely don't think I'm going to. It's just 100% not my style. I've been dreading reading it, so I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get rid of it at this point. I have no interest in picking it up, and I'm so sorry. I feel so bad about it, but I have no interest. Next, I'm getting rid of, oh my Jesus Christ, All Is Fair by D. Garrison. This is a World War I book, and this is incredibly boring, like this entire book. It's so short. I'm surprised that it bored me to tears, but it like literally was so boring. And I just have no interest in passing this along to anybody I know, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Oh my god, Neighborhood Girls. I'm getting rid of Neighborhood Girls by Jessie Ann Foley. Nothing about this is giving me anything I want to have in my life ever again. This book gives me like core memory vibes. Go check out my last video if you want to know like the scene that I keep going back to in my brain, but I have no interest in keeping this at all. Next, I have Rebel Angels by Libba Bray. I got the paperback version, don't need the hardback anymore. Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson. No interest in picking this up, and also the cover is like really cringe for me. Not a huge fan, so I'm getting rid of it. Lastly, the final trilogy trilogy I'm getting rid of is the Matched trilogy by Ali Condi, I believe. Yeah. I read it in university. I was kind of catching up on some old YA, but realistically won't read it again. It was good for what it was, but I have no attachments to it. I have no interest in reading it again, so I'm not going to bother trying to. So that's it. Those are all the books I'm getting rid of. I feel like I'm getting rid of so many books, yet I still have nowhere on my shelf for any of these, so I don't know where these came from. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting this out of my living room. Noah will be thrilled to have this out of our living room. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, bye readers!